It encompasses physical areas and factors of the air, land, maritime, and space domains and the information environment. Included within these are the adversary, friendly, and neutral systems that are relevant to a specific joint operation. Joint functions are related capabilities and activities grouped together to help Joint Force commanders integrate, synchronize, and direct joint operations. Functions that are common to joint operations at all levels of war fall into 6 basic groups: command and control, intelligence, fires, movement and maneuver, protection, and sustainment. Additionally, information operations, core supporting and related capabilities, are applied across the joint functions and independently. Planning for joint operations is continuous across the full range of military operations, using 2 closely related, integrated, collaborative, and adaptive processes: the Joint Operation Planning and Execution System, commonly referred to as JOPS, and the Joint Operation Planning Process. While JOPS activities span many organizational levels, the focus is on the interaction which ultimately helps the President and Secretary of Defense decide when, where, and how to commit U.S. military capabilities. Joint operation planning includes the 2 primary subcategories: contingency planning and crisis action planning. The steps of the joint operation planning process are initiation, mission analysis, course of action development, course of action analysis and wargaming, course of action comparison, course of action approval, and plan or order development. Joint Force commanders and their staffs use a number of operational design elements such as termination, end state and objectives, effects, centers of gravity, decisive points, and lines of operations to help them visualize the arrangement of actions in time, space, and purpose to accomplish their mission. The result of this process should be a framework that forms the basis for the joint campaign or operation plan and the conceptual linkage of ends, ways, and means. Key elements that result from mission analysis and the planning process include a draft mission statement, commander's intent, and concept of operations. The mission statement, which is a clear statement of the action to be taken and the reason for doing so, should be a short sentence or paragraph that describes the organization's essential task or tasks and purpose. The commander's intent is a clear and concise expression of the purpose of the operation and the military end state. The concept of operations describes how the actions of the Joint Force components and supporting organizations will be integrated, synchronized, and phased to accomplish the mission, including potential branches and sequels. Phasing. Phasing a joint operation plan, such as in shape, deter, seize initiative, dominate, stabilize, and enable civil authority, provides a flexible arrangement of smaller, related operations. Phasing assists Joint Force commanders and staffs to visualize and think through the entire operation or campaign and to define requirements in terms of forces, resources, time, space, and purpose. The actual number of phases used will vary with the joint campaign or operation and will be determined by the Joint Force commander. Major operations and campaigns are the most complex and require the greatest diligence in planning and execution due to the time, effort, and national resources committed. They normally will include some level of offense and defense, for example, interdiction, maneuver, forcible entry, fire support, counter-air, computer network defense, and base defense. To reach the national strategic end state and conclude the operation campaign successfully, Joint Force commanders must integrate and synchronize stability operations, which are the missions, tasks, and activities to maintain or reestablish a safe and secure environment and provide essential governmental services, emergency infrastructure reconstruction, or humanitarian relief, with offensive and defensive operations within each major operation or campaign phase. Planning for stability operations should begin when joint operation planning is initiated. Crisis response and limited contingency operations. The ability of the United States to respond rapidly with appropriate options to potential or actual crises contributes to regional stability. Thus, joint operations often may be planned and executed as a crisis response or limited contingency. Crisis response and limited contingency operations are typically limited in scope and scale and conducted to achieve a very specific objective in an operational area. They may be conducted as standalone operations in response to a crisis or executed as an element of a larger, more complex joint campaign or operation. Typical crisis response and limited contingency operations include non-combatant evacuation operations, peace operations, foreign humanitarian assistance, recovery operations, consequence management, strikes, raids, homeland defense operations, and civil support operations. Military engagement, security cooperation, and deterrence. Military engagement, security cooperation, and deterrence encompass a wide range of activities where the military instrument of national power is tasked to support other government agencies and cooperate with intergovernmental organizations and other countries to protect and enhance national security interests and deter conflict. Geographic combatant commanders shape their areas of responsibilities through security cooperation activities by continually employing military forces to complement and reinforce other instruments of national power. Joint force presence often keeps unstable situations from escalating into larger conflicts. Presence can take the form of forward basing, forward deploying, or pre-positioning assets. Various joint operations, such as show of force or enforcement of sanctions, support deterrence by demonstrating national resolve and willingness to use force when necessary. This concludes the Joint Publication 3-0 Joint Operations Executive Summary podcast. For more information on this or other Joint Doctrine publications, refer to the Joint Electronic Library at www.dtech.mil/doctrine. U.S. military professionals may access the primary authoritative source of Joint Doctrine, education, training, and related information on the Joint Doctrine, Education, and Training Electronic Information System portal at https://jadis.js.mil.